Practice 1. In the late 1960s, the art world was divided into so many minor movements that tracking them all is difficult. In one of the most radical of these movements, artists believed that they didn't need to produce any artwork at all, rather like Dada, but simply generate concepts or ideas. In reality, this conceptual art, as it's known, is often a type of performance or happening that can be very spontaneous and audience-driven. Sometimes it's simply writing on a wall. One early conceptual artist camped up with a coyote for a week in an art gallery to get people thinking about the treatment of Native Americans. Feminist art is linked with conceptual art in that it focuses on the inequalities faced by women and tries to provoke change. The movement has no set style. It might include a painting on canvas or a group of women dressed up in gorilla costumes crashing a public event to pass out pamphlets. Practice 2. Astronomical stars, the ones visible in the sky at night and scattered across the universe, produce their own light and heat rather than, as with the planet Earth, relying on other bodies for illumination and warmth. So it is, metaphorically, with the stars of motion pictures and team sports. They attract attention by themselves. People will pay to attend movies or games in which they appear because they are appearing. When Michael Jordan, the dominant basketball player of the last decade of the 20th century, ended his second retirement from the sport, the team for which he played, the Washington Wizards, attracted sellout audiences everywhere it played. The previous year, when Jordan was not playing for the Wizards, far fewer spectators had attended the team's games. This pattern resumed after he retired again. Practice 3. Looking for the poem's subject is natural. Almost all poetry has messages to deliver, lots of them, profound and diverse as stars. But these messages are sometimes hidden, and you have to read attentively to make them out. Notice that we specifically avoid saying, the subject is what a poem's about, because that implies that what a poem says is all there is to a poem. If that were so, why would people go to the trouble of writing poetry? Instead, people go to the trouble because poems sound a certain way, are built in certain shapes, and have certain beauties in sound and meaning, all of which accompanies the meaning and goes beyond it. Not all poems have a single subject. Some poems have many subjects, and some have subjects that aren't clear. Sometimes a poem's subject is simply itself, the words in it and their relationships to one another. The point is to be alert for the subject or subjects of any poem as you read. Practice 4. After serving in the Navy at the end of the Civil War, James Walter Thompson went to New York, determined to carve out a career in the big city. In 1868, he was hired by a tiny advertising agency run by William J. Carleton, at that point still involved in the primitive business of placing advertisements in newspapers and magazines. It was the latter that interested Thompson, who noticed that they ran few advertisements while staying longer in the family home than newspapers, thus making them potentially a more effective medium. He began to specialize in magazine advertising, gradually building up an exclusive stable of publications available only to his clients. 10 years after joining the agency, he bought it for a total of $1,300, $500 for the company, and $800 for the furniture, and put his own name above the door.